to your 2026 video horoscopes with me, Lada from AstroLada.com. I call those short and sweet summaries of 2026 for each of the 12 signs because they focus just on Saturn and Jupiter, the two planets that determine the external and internal environment, the most important events in our life. We'll go through them so you have an idea how the year will be ahead. But if you'd like the full version of those videos, you can check my 2026 video horoscope, 2 hours for each of the signs, way more in depth. We covered the other planets, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune as well, all the eclipses, all the retrogrades of Venus and Mercury, and so on. But now enjoy and may you have a blessed 2026. Sun, Moon, Rising 2026. Virgo, let's start with Saturn, of course. Saturn is entering from February together with Neptune, your 8th house, and will stay there for 2 years. The whole 2026, the whole 2027, and part of 2028. So the universe asks you to put in order this house, the 8th house. What is it? First of all, make sure you fix and put in order your taxes. 8th house is taxes, money we owe others, money that is owed to us. Just be very keep a very good inventory financially, let's say. And it can be great to help you rebudget, especially mutual finances together with a partner, to reorganize your finances. But also, you have to be very meticulous about how you pay your taxes or documentations about inheritances, insurances, all of those things. You have to be meticulous because Saturn can kind of will show you where there are mistakes there. So make sure you put those things in order. Maybe you haven't left a will. Make a will or put like a trust for your loved ones, even if you're a young one, or even if you're young, you never know what can happen. Or you might be dealing with some documentations and arrangements of inheritance. Sometimes when Saturn transits the 8th house, some relative or someone can pass away. 8th house is the house of death. And after that, we're left with the working out of the inheritance and what we receive as a result. I just went through Saturn through the 8th house from my moon sign. It didn't deal with those things, but yeah, there was more heavy responsibilities around taxes, let's say. But you also consolidate, make it streamline it, make it more automatic over those 2-3 years, so it's easier for you. Plus, we had to kind of tighten up the belt financially as a family because 8th house is mutual finances together you have with another, whether it's like with your business partners or money coming to you through others. In my case, for years, money was coming to me through collaborators, other astrologers. And in the last couple of years, when Saturn was transiting my 8th house, it kind of diminished 5 times. I've been working a lot less with others, income coming to me through others. So the business partners, collaborators really decreased. But that was a good thing again as well because I restructured financially. I made myself more independent from them as well. So Saturn can help you for that as well. Maybe some source of income for you that comes through others can, can tighten up so you find an alternative one. Also, we had to be financially with my partner more careful because we did mutual investments. We bought property, we put all our savings in something, and we had to repair the property. So that can mean like tightening the belt together with a partner for some long term. So you, instead of going to restaurants, holidays, immediate gratification, you spend your finances in a more reasonable way because you're planning for something long term. Saturn rules long term stuff. So, kind of spending, maybe you don't spend as much because of a mutual goal or something else that you're planning for. And yeah, so this is the 8th house, finances from others, resources. It's a financial house, so you kind of, that's the area. I remember the previous time Saturn through the 8th house from my ascendant, my current partner back then had to take a lower salary, but because he went into the career he really wanted. And a few years down the line, this sacrifice he made, because Saturn is about sacrifices, even though I wasn't with him anymore, paid really well for him because he started making much more after that. So there can be a temporary sacrifice financially that you have to do, especially if your finances are dependent on others, are connected with others, or like a business partnership, or like government relying on that. But it's for the long term, it's good, you know. Also, it can be like taking on responsibilities connected to loans or mortgages. That's another way it can play out. Or learning how to, uh, if you want to consolidate your mortgage, if you want to repackage it. Saturn is about restructuring. This is also good when Saturn transits the eighth house. But the eighth house is also about intimacy. There can be some blockages on intimacy. And Saturn makes you look inside why is it hard for you to open up to others or to trust others? Such issues can come to the surface. Uh, or and to be reworked, because the eighth house is where we store the traumas, where we store the ability to trust the others, and usually if there was an abuse of power and of our trust, this is where we store it, and Saturn helps you slow down so you can such feelings that were suppressed, that were unexperienced, to reframe them, to re-experience them, and to, especially if we block them before from feeling, and some kind of a extended grief period can be there for a little bit. I know it sounds very heavy, Saturn in the eighth house, but it's not directly aspecting you, you see. But you might be, it's more subconscious. It's like some inner work on unprocessed feelings that you do on the past. For me, it was even not a conscious work. I worked with a psychologist for a year and a half when Saturn was in my 8th house from the moon. And that was very helpful, helping me reframe and correct some painful memories and connect some painful experiences, and help detach from them. So ultimately, Saturn is about detachment. And so that can be like inner work that you do. And people that are in psychology, astrology, that are in such professions, that are helping with others about such deeper feelings, that can be a very busy time, very hardworking time for them professionally. Or if you're working in banks, working with other people's money, resources, insurances, inheritances, if you're working in emergency services, or if you're working in astrology, the occult, these are all eighth house professions. Or if you're working like other people's money, as I said, yeah, this can, this is what it can play out with. Both of my brother and sister-in-law, they're both Virgos, and they had to take on financial responsibilities together and tighten up the belt, because like she can't work, they're raising a baby now, they just had a baby, so they had to be financially more responsible together like a couple, because Saturn was in your eighth house for 3 months this year, the summer. So you got a glimpse about it, and now it just means like maybe you tighten up the belt for a long-term goal or project. There must be a meaning in it, you know. Um, Also, it's about yeah, it can be decreased intimacy because you have some other responsibilities, or it can be a period when you're working on hard on securing income to you that comes through others, or that you are taking responsibility and care of another person's finances or another person's assets in some way. So as I said, people that are bankers or that deal with such things, that can be very successful time for them. Otherwise, it's more internal work and processes and so on, that is about healing traumas, but it's a slower process. It takes a couple of years. And then the other big event is that Jupiter, from the middle of 2025 till the middle of 2026, till July, is in your 11th house, which is the most favorite house of Jupiter. So, yeah, Saturn things are happening there. We spoke about them. But Jupiter is extremely strong, is in Cancer till July. This is its favorite sign and its favorite house from Virgo, only for Virgo. The favorite house of Jupiter, the 11th house, says you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded because it's the house of gainfulness, of rewards. Some of you might get uh, kind of like a remuneration of some sort, a reward, a title, a degree of some sort, an honor of some sort. You might be accepted to a society or group or organization that is very useful for you and that's very helpful for you financially in the long term, or to fulfill your goals and dreams. You can fulfill a goal or dream of yours. This is the house of dreams, of something that you've always wanted. And Jupiter there gives you the green light till July and says, yes, you advance ahead to some long term goal or dream that you've always had. And the one that is super aligned to it will happen with ease. Maybe benefactors will help you in some way as well, because the 11th house rules like benefactors, those that believe in us as well. Also, if you're a business, this is your clients, the 11th house. The 11th house is your viewers. The 11th house is your fans. You can expand your fan base, your client base. That's why gainfulness comes again here. If your business can be more gainful, but interesting with Saturn in another financial house. You see, we have Saturn and Jupiter. Maybe you work to limit expenses in some way, because Saturn there wants to do some limitation, damage control, inventory, while at the same time growing your portfolio, growing your pool of contacts, business network, pool of clients as well. Jupiter, so yeah, they can be big financial rewards as well. While Saturn asks you to be responsible at the same time financially. And if you're doing mutual finance investments, don't do ones that are risky. Saturn says, like, maybe invest in something traditional, property, something like that, that has slower returns, but that is more secure. While Jupiter is allowing your business to prosper if you have a business, or to have a bigger salary or bigger rewards there. Also, Jupiter through the 11th house till July will expand your social circle. You can meet new friends. Even if you don't immediately realize these people will be important for you, it might be because it's a 12-year cycle, maybe 2-3 years down the line. People that you met now till July 2026, you realize that maybe a few years down the line you end up doing something important with them, that they end up helping you, that they end up being a very good asset for you, very good positive influence on you. Because Jupiter is extremely beneficial in Cancer. It's a very nice planet overall. So it's saying other people can be helping you now in some way. Ask for help and support, and you would receive it from friends. Expand your social circle. If you get invited to social events, whether it's a party or whether it's like a concert or a lecture where it's larger groups of people, of like-minded people, I would say go for it, because something good can come to you from there. Some good opportunity that you didn't expect. Maybe a friend introducing you to someone. And Jupiter rules your 7th house, even introducing you to a partner, relationship, business, or personal marriage partner of some sort that comes to you through a friend. Also, it's like anything to do with networking, do it, or participating in larger groups with people. Something good comes to you from there with Jupiter. Just like when I met a group of many friends, like 5 or 6 new friends, when Jupiter was transiting my 11th house, it was a very gainful year as well. Extremely, my most successful financial year was with Jupiter in the 11th house, and when my channel grew the most. But those people, I met them, and a few years later after that, I started doing things with them. So it might not be immediate, but now your pool of contacts expands for a good, in a better way. And maybe a new goal or a dream can appear. And then from the second part of the year, oh my God, Jupiter from July enters your 12th house, Virgo. And this now, both Saturn and Jupiter, the second part of the year, are in more private emotional houses. Houses of feelings, of past traumas, of past lifetimes, of subconscious feelings. So a lot of the work becomes inner work from the second part of the year. It feels like the first part of the year, it's more busy socially with Jupiter in the 11th house. It's more happening, while the second part is more introspective, because these are introspective houses, the 12th, the 8th. And because they are fire signs, a lot of the psychological transformations that happen there will be faster and not so emotional. It will be like sudden realizations, much easier to let go of past addictions and attachments that no longer serve you. 12th house is the house of endings. And Jupiter in Leo, there you can like laser, you burn it off and you're not attached to this. So it will be much easier for you to let go of unhealthy, self-sabotaging habits, addictions from the second part of the year, to have psychological healing. So it is inner work, but it's very important because it puts the foundation for you. When you do the cleaning, it's like an astral cleaning. And it can be even physical detox that you experience through coughs, through detoxing of some sort, and even needing to have more time alone and lying down and more time sleeping. Jupiter through the 12th house is very good for your sleep, because this is when the body prepares, the psyche prepares, so the body needs more time to rest. So if you start feeling like you need more time alone, both those houses, the 8th and the 12th, are lonely houses. Like you need to spend time alone to shake off the feelings, to the soul is healing then. The soul is in a kind of gestation period when Jupiter is in the 12th house. And there can be a lot of, even you can receive signs and messages from the invisible world with Jupiter in the 12th house. I've been having dreams that keep coming true when Jupiter entered my 12th house. My dreams never come true. They're crazy, weird stuff. But this time they have been meaningful and they've been making sense because I have now Jupiter in the 12th house. So when it comes to you, you'd also have more meaningful internal inner experiences. Your imagination becomes more powerful, your subconscious. You might even remember past lifetimes or memories you've forgotten, and that's a releasing, healing process. It can also give you the green light to foreign travel. 12th house rules faraway countries, foreign relocation. It can give you the green light for deep studies and research about spiritual work. Meditation becomes easier. I started doing hypnosis, self-hypnosis with Jupiter in the 12th house now. For me, it's crazy, but it's really worked. I've been a lifelong nicotine user, and I just listened to for a month to self-hypnosis, like online, and that's it. I don't need any more lozenges or any nicotine and whatever. So it's incredible how on the mental health when Jupiter enters the 12th house, and on how easy it is to leave behind attachments. The invisible worlds help you, and how easy it is to receive messages from God, from your guardian angels, or from your departed loved ones, whatever it is. It's like you become more psychic and more intuitive. So it's internal processes, but they are very powerful because the 12th house is the house of evolution of the soul. So yes, it's more internal, but I know you're earth sign, you want practical stuff, and I can give you some practical stuff. From the second part of the year, maybe go travel to a foreign country, go to visit a faraway place you've never been to before. Maybe sleep more, this is better. Maybe do some spiritual studies and meditation. Meditation will be much easier for you to do than normal. Maybe do some investment in faraway countries, for example. Maybe do some spiritual studies. We said that. If you're artist, painter, or anything like that, what fantastic time. The inspiration keeps coming, especially if you need to work something in isolation, to paint a painting, to create music. This is when it flows. And from next year, 2027, you're starting a brand new beginning. So take the time to rest the second part of 2026, the first part of 2027, because after that, you're in for a treat. But your psyche needs to rest first. But Uranus is moving into your 10th house. So especially the first 5 degrees of Virgo, 5-6 degrees, they'll have a change, the change of their life. They can change careers, they can suddenly shift direction. There can be some very fast happening changes, but only the first 5 degrees of Virgo, first 5-6 degrees. For them, things are not that, because 12th, 8th house, this is internal work, this is emotional houses. But if you're only the first 5-6 degrees of Virgo, wow, your life changes internally and externally very quickly. But I speak much more in depth how Uranus will make the big change for you, how Jupiter in the 12th, Saturn in the 8th, with way more examples and practical stories, and how you can use it to the highest advantage for you in my 2-hour video for Virgo for 2026. And I speak about the eclipses. The eclipses starts happening in different places for you, and how Uranus, how Neptune will affect you, how Saturn will affect you way more in depth. So check it out if you like my style of astrology. Thank you.